Hello and welcome to this Body Awareness for Daily Life class. This course integrates the Alexander Technique somatic practice with anatomy and osteopathy knowledge. The goal of this course is to provide you with foundational knowledge about your body's design to help you be more self-aware and to use your body in a way that's more efficient and more healthy. Many injuries and pain that we experience in our bodies are not so much from pre-existent conditions, but from the way we use our bodies that is out of alignment. So reconnecting to this knowledge can have a significant impact in our general well-being. Today's class focuses on regaining space and support in our spine and freedom in our joints. For this class, you'll need a chair or a stool, also a light object that you can throw and pick up like a pair of socks, and finally a space on the floor like a mat or a blanket. I'm Julie Crystal. I'm an osteopath and Alexander Technique teacher. I'll be guiding you through today. So let's get started. So we'll start sitting in a chair or in a stool. Just place your feet flat on the floor, your sit bones in your chair, and your hands facing upward in your legs. So you'll have 6 points of contact and support with the floor or the earth. That's your feet, your sit bones, and your hands. Just notice that support map. And then from there, just take like a general insight of how your body is feeling right now. What are the places of tension? Which places feel more present right now? How's your breath? So starting to bring your attention towards your axis, towards your spine, just imagining, where does your spine live inside of yourself? Where is it? Where is your spine? Where do you think it is? And just giving space to the idea of your spine. So avoid correcting or arranging anything. It's something that we want to do like quickly, but just stop that and just notice, where do you think your spine is right now? And do you think is it comfortable where it is right now or not? And we're not trying to fix anything yet. But start to think of the whole length of your spine. So it goes from the pelvis into your lumbar spine, into your thoracic spine, into your neck cervical spine, all the way up into the base of the skull. So just mapping that for yourself for a second. And we tend to think that our spine is way behind in our back, but it's actually quite in the middle of the torso. So now just do that, thinking of the spine from down all the way up, but thinking that your spine is quite in the middle of yourself. So actually the front part of your spine, that is like the more solid and stable part of your spine, it's right in the middle of the trunk. Is that right in the middle of the torso? So now, thinking about your spine from your pelvis into your lumbar spine, into your thoracic spine, but thinking that it is in the middle of the torso, into your cervical spine, all the way up into the base of the skull. Okay. And now we're going to bring our fingers to right behind our ears. And it's also kind of up and behind your jaw. So that's more or less where the base of the skull is. And so our spine goes all the way up there. It starts there. And then it goes all the way down to your coccyx. That is like the final part of it. That's kind of between your sit bones. Okay, so one hand in the base of the skull, behind the ears, or behind one ear, and the other hand in your coccyx, whatever you think your coccyx is. Okay, that's the whole length. So you're just gonna move those hands forward so you can take a look of the length of your spine right here. Just bring your hands forward. Look at the length of your spine and then come back with the hands to the original places, base of the skull and coccyx. Okay, that's the whole length. So we're going to explore a bit now, moving without shortening the length of the spine. So first thing we're going to do is really simple. You're sitting in the chair and you're just going to tilt your body forward, your torso forward, and back to sitting. So back to your sit bones. We're going to do that a few times. Just tilting your body forward, thinking about that length of your spine. Length in the front, length in the back. Back to your sit bones. You can also think that if my spine is that thing that connects pelvis with head, with skull, then you can just move your skull forward. That will move your whole spine. And then you can just bring your sit bones back to the chair, and that will bring your whole torso back. Exploring that a few times. Head forward, the whole spine forward without shortening the front of your spine. And going back and without shortening the back of your spine. So there are many ways to go forward, right? We could go forward with a hand shortening our front of the spine. And we could also go forward shortening the back part of the spine. We don't want to do either of those. So just one more time, tilt it forward. Lengthen the front, lengthen the back. Back to sitting in your sit bones. Lengthen the front, lengthen the back. Okay, we'll just go on with that. Bring your feet a bit closer to you. You'll just go with that move of tilting the torso forward, and you'll just continue that into kind of pouring the weight into your feet so you can go standing. Yeah. And then we'll use that same motion to get back to sitting. So tilting the torso forward, using your leg joints to get back to sitting. So just exploring that. If there is a way for you to get in and out of the chair without shortening the front part or the back part of the spine. Just try that 2 or 3 times. So lengthening the front, lengthening the back. You can tilt forward all you need and then go into standing. So when we tilt forward, we're using this hip joint. That is a really important one because it's the connection that the torso has with the legs. And then you're allowing your knees to go forward and your ankles to be free. So if we want to preserve the length of the spine, we will need to use those 3 joints in our legs, ankles, knees, and hips. So one more time, just sitting and standing, using your triple leg joints, and back down. And now we're gonna try this one more time, but you're gonna place both hands in your neck. So your neck is part of your spine. So just placing your hands around your neck and going back to standing and just being aware of what's going on in your neck when you want to stand and when you're going to sit. See if there's something in the neck that wants to happen, like shortening the back, shortening the front. And just, if you see that happening, give yourself a little bit more of time, just pausing there, rethinking the lengthening of your spine, and then continue with the motion. So you can try that 1 or 2 times, and then you'll bring one hand to your lower spine, your lower back, and the other one to your belly. So sort of tracking what's going on in this area. That's also part of your spine. So just again, going back to standing. and back to sitting, and see if there's something there that wants to shorten in the front or in the back, and just allow the general motion to lengthen the whole spine, front and back, and to really use your knees and your triple leg joints. Okay, so now we're gonna bring our object, our pair of socks or whatever we had, and we'll do a really simple action that we do in everyday life, that is picking up something from the floor. So you'll just throw that into the floor and pick it up. You'll just do that 2 or 3 times. Just throw it and pick it up, and throw it again and pick it up, and one more time. Great. And now you'll just start using these principles that we use in the chair into these actions. So before picking that object from the floor, you'll think the lengthening of your spine in the front and in the back, especially that neck part, especially this lumbar back spine part, and that triple leg joints freeing up. So ankles, knees, and hip available to hinge, to allow myself to go down and up again without shortening my back, well, my spine. Okay, let's try that one more time. So using your legs, knees forward, hips back, long spine, you got the object, you go back up. So there's no need, we need to use the 3 joints, right? Ankles, knees, and hips. But maybe you use more of your hips, or maybe you use more of your knees. But you need to use the 3 of them, maybe in different range of motions, but you just need to use the 3 of them. Yes, to prevent the space in your spine to keep existing. So back up, and we'll just go back to our stool or a chair. So sitting and standing and picking objects from the floor are things that we do in a range from 300 to 500 times a day. So if we can take care of ourselves in these really, really simple actions, then we're really gonna give our bodies like a general sense of well-being, because we're gonna just use our bodies in a better way in those really repetitive actions. So just standing again, one more time, maybe it's easier now. Just try that one more time. You'll stand up, lengthening your spine. And when I say lengthening your spine, it's not so much like doing something to lengthen it, it's just preventing yourself from shortening it. So just preventing yourself from shortening any part of your spine when you go down. And same thing when you go up, using your legs, your leg joints. Great, and just take a moment sitting again, hands on your legs, feet flat on the floor, sit bones. See how your body is feeling right now. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your spine. How present is your spine now in the experience of being here? I think there's a lot to gain if we just have our spine present in our daily life. Just that, just remembering there's this spine supporting me and it has all this length, and I'm not going to shorten it. So we're gonna move into our constructive rest part of the class. And for that, we'll need to remove the chair of the stool, and we're gonna bring the mat and the blanket. And something that's really beautiful about the Alexander technique is that we really care about every action that our body does. So it's not like there's an action that it's more important than another one, because we actually care about our bodies, and our bodies, like, it's the same body in every action that we perform. So every action is equally important for us because we really care about our bodies that are the ones performing the action. So now you're gonna just move the chair and bring the mat or the blanket, and I'll invite you to be really aware of how your body performs those simple actions and how you can keep thinking about the space in your spine and the freedom in your leg joints when you do all of this. Okay, let's do it. So constructive rest position, it's a resting of the back in the floor. I'll show you the position and then I'll guide you through. It's a thing that we really recommend you to incorporate to your days, like 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. It's a really simple practice. All you need to do is to rest on the floor, and that really helps your back to regain space and then to be able to be a better support for you in your daily life. So I'll just show you now and then we go. So placing your feet on the ground and then just going into the floor. We usually recommend to have some object like a book supporting your head, like a little height behind your head. Just place your feet in a way that they feel comfortable, and you'll place your hands in your torso, that can be your pelvis, in your belly, or in your thoracic part. So that's the position, and we'll just stay there for 5 minutes. So while you rest your back in the floor, just allow yourself to be received by the floor. It's like a really generous moment where you just get to be supported by the floor. There's no need to do anything. There's no need to fix or correct anything right now. You're just allowing yourself to be and to be supported. So many times during the day, we are rushing into doing and we're in that doing state. So for now, we're just allowing ourselves to be in that being state. While we're still awake, you'll have your eyes open. This is like an active rest. So noticing the way your body is breathing right now. Notice that there's really nothing you need to do to breathe. There's something that is already happening for you. It's almost like the air is breathing you. So allowing that to happen, just receiving the gift of your breath. Coming in and out effortlessly. And there's something you can know about your breath by following the air coming in and out. But there's also something that your hands touching the torso can know about your breath, about that more external movement. So letting your hands know your breath at the same time. And allowing yourself to be in this calm yet awake state. Allowing the whole width of your torso to be expressed right now. The width of your pelvis, the width of your lower back, the width of your ribs and your upper back, even the width of your neck and the width of your head, that space between your two ears. Thinking again about your spine and the length of your spine. Noticing how you don't need to do something to produce that. Your length, the length of your torso, or the length of your spine, it's already wanting to happen. We just need to stop interfering with that. Our spine already wants to exist in space. So if we just allow space to happen, it will unfold. And then there's also all of this space between the front and the back of your torso, the front and the back of your pelvis, the front and the back of your belly and lower back, the front and the back of your upper part of the torso, the ribs, the lungs, the heart, the upper back. All that space between front and back. The space between front and back in your neck, and the space between front and back in your head. Just allowing all of your three-dimensional self to express in space. You are receiving the breath, the air is breathing you. And when the air is breathing you, there's that three-dimensional unfolding going on in your torso. The air goes into every direction. And then it goes out from every direction in your torso. Just allowing yourself a few more moments to be in the flow of the breath. Allowing yourself to receive the gift of being, receive the gift of breathing. There's nothing else we need to do. There's nothing else we need to produce. Being is enough for us. Being, it's a great contribution. So you'll just stay in the constructive rest position for as long as you like. And we're going to end our practice here, and just an indication for whenever you want to come out of the position, it's don't rush into getting out forward and fast. Just go slowly into one of your sides and use your hands to go back to sitting. Whenever you do that, just bring with you that sense of a three-dimensional torso and see how much that can stay with you for the rest of your day. So we're starting to incorporate these subtle images and new thoughts about ourselves that we want to sort of melt them into our daily life. We want them to be present not only in our practice space, but we want to bring those with us into our daily life and our daily activities. Just thinking that our bodies matter all day long and that we can take care of them with the simple thoughts all day long. So Thank you so much for being there, and I'll see you in the next class.